Kidding, are you? No, stop!
How's it going, everyone? My name is TrueUnderDawg, fresh off of work because school is back in session. And while I was at work during my lunch break, I got some news that has to do with fighting games. So don't worry, this is not going to become a gaming news channel, but this particular gaming news does have to do with fighting games. So with that all in mind, I thought we would cover that today. Plus, I wasn't planning on making a video today, so if you ask me, that's a great reason to experiment. Let me know in the comments down below if you enjoyed the video. If so, leave a like. Let's get right into the news. So for starters, we have the PogChamp emote on Twitch. I don't use Twitch very often, but this emote is very, very popular. In fact, the emote itself is actually more popular than the person who made it. Now, I'm sure a lot of you watching know who this is because you watch fighting game content. But even so, you'd be surprised how many people do not know who this is, but still use the emote nonetheless. So you might be wondering, why would this wholesome emote get banned? Pretty much the person featured in this emote said a political opinion that Twitch does not support, and as a result, I'm not going to post the tweets in this video because the YouTube AI might come after me. But that's pretty much what happened in a nutshell. And this reminds me a lot of a little green frog whose name I also don't want to mention because the YouTube AI is that whack. But that particular green frog is now a hate symbol on some websites, and some are joking this could happen to the PogChamp. I really don't think so. Or at least I hope not. I really don't know what to think anymore. This kindergarten platform, both YouTube and Twitch, are becoming more and more ridiculous. What was okay last week is now banned this week. It's honestly really crazy. And not just crazy, but also sad because now we can't use this emote anymore on Twitch. Now, could they roll this back and could the emote return to Twitch? I think it's possible, but as of now, it's completely gone. But you know what? I'm getting a bit too opinionative. Let's move on to the second topic of this video, which is Capcom's new video policy. So essentially, Capcom is now telling you what you are not legally allowed to do with their content, whether you stream it or upload it to YouTube, any of that stuff. So let's go ahead and just walk through it step by step. So first up, we have the creative content. So what this says is you can do walkthroughs, you can do let's plays, you can do tutorials, and that's good for yours truly. I do all of those things, and all of it is still okay under the eyes of Capcom. However, the second part is where things get a bit more concerning. So it's pretty much saying you can't split their game content into separate components like visual, vocal, in-game elements, which essentially means you can't just take their music and make that into a video. It has to be something transformative. You can't just take the cutscenes and use that by itself. It has to be something transformative. And I'll be honest with you, as someone who does commentary and let's plays and walkthroughs, this actually does benefit channels like mine. But at the same time, I do have some friends and fellow creators on YouTube who do upload just the raw content, and now they might be in some hot water, and I don't necessarily like that. Honestly, my only issue is when creators upload the stuff before the game's even out. So they'll do a full story mode like a day or 2 days before the game's even out, or like every arcade ladder ending before the game's even out. I hate stuff like that. And then next up, not official Capcom video. So fan content may not be promoted as official Capcom content. Okay, I don't think anyone really does that, but I guess what they're saying is you can't say, oh, this is the official movie, but then it's just your own fan movie. You can't pretend to be Capcom when you're not Capcom. That makes enough sense. All right, and then only Capcom music. So this part is interesting too. So just because Capcom has a certain song in their game, that does not mean they own the rights to that song, and as a result, they're not going to protect you if you use that music. A really good example of this is Devil May Cry 5. They have music from an actual band that Capcom does not own the rights to, and if you use that music in your video, you can still have the video taken down or the music removed, yada yada yada. Alright, but this next one I find hilarious. So audience appropriate. So it's saying that fan created content should be appropriate for the fans of the Capcom game in particular. The reason I find that so funny is that even though Street Fighter is technically not an M-rated game like Mortal Kombat, there are some very spicy things in Street Fighter. If you've seen the women and the men even in that game, they're showing a lot of skin and they have some pretty absurd proportions going on. I'm not kidding, Mortal Kombat's character design is very tame compared to how spicy the characters look in Street Fighter. So I'm not sure what Capcom means in that regard, and the same thing goes for Devil May Cry. There's blood and guts everywhere, Trish is pretty much completely naked in one scene, so what do you mean, Capcom? I think Maximilian Dude hit the nail on the head when he said, hey, stop making Rule 34 of our characters, we don't want to see it anymore. I think that might be what Capcom means, but I would argue their games are already Rule 34 in their own way. But even so, there you you have it, artist. If you upload content, make sure that it's not too saucy for the game that you're making Rule 34 of, because Capcom's watching you now and you've been warned. Alright, so here's an actually good one. So spoilers. Okay, so it can't be done before the game's release. I like this. So I mentioned this earlier. I think an embargo is a really good idea. I don't like it when people upload a game's story mode before the game's even playable, and I hate especially when they do that and then put the spoiler in the thumbnail. I get it. I understand it gets you more clicks and more views and therefore more money, but it's very frustrating to everyone who doesn't want to have it spoiled because they can't avoid it in the recommendations. Once again, I'm getting a bit too emotional and heated like before, but I actually like this rule. Stop posting stuff about a game before it's actually out. I don't care if you have a review copy, respect that everyone else doesn't want to have it spoiled. And you know what? On that same note, can we avoid putting spoilers in thumbnails, period? Especially if it's the end of the game or something really big that happens in the story mode. Can you stop posting that too in thumbnails? Thank you very much and have a nice day. Alright, and now we have no commercialization. So this first one pretty much says you cannot make money off our product by making something with it. So in other words, you can't make your own Street Fighter game using Street Fighter characters and then sell it. That's not allowed. You can't make your own Street Fighter series using their characters and animating them and then charge for that either. It's not allowed. And this next part says what you can do, like what is permissible and what isn't. It's more or less the same thing. They're saying, yeah, you can post it on YouTube. It's free to the public. You can make money that way by being partnered with YouTube or Twitch, but you can't have a private account and then charge people to view the stuff if it's just their content. So say for example, you have the entire story mode of Street Fighter 6 and you're charging people to view it, but it's not transformative. It's just straight up their stuff. They're not going to let you do that. That is illegal. They're not going to allow it. Oh boy, and this next one is kind of crazy for a lot of people. So they don't want you to leak anything. Anything Capcom has not released or is unauthorized, they don't want you to do. They're going to go after it. They're going to take it down, any number of things. And that's a pretty big one for a lot of people. I've actually talked about leaks in the past few videos for NetherRealm, but that's because I'm trying to help keep the game alive. It's kind of dying little by little, and I want to keep the hype any way I can. With that said though, if NetherRealm posted something just like this and made it very clear what can and can't be done, I would respect that and I would no longer make any leak videos. However, in saying that, my videos are mostly rumors and speculation and nothing that's been officially leaked. The one time that did happen, I actually didn't cover it. It was over a year ago when someone snuck into one of the offices at NetherRealm and took a screenshot of the roster and leaked pretty much every single character. A lot of channels covered that leak and I didn't out of respect for NetherRealm. And then we have unauthorized usage, so they're not going to let you promote hacking or any way of cheating, anything like that that has to do with their programs. I wonder if that includes mods just for like characters' outfits and stuff. Would they be against that too? Alright, and then we have inappropriate content. Seems like they might be repeating what's up here, but they're pretty much saying nothing too spicy, nothing illegal, nothing hateful, nothing like that Capcom would not endorse using their stuff. It's kind of a repeat of what's up here, but it's also a bit more specific because this one's saying, hey, don't make it if it's not age appropriate, but this one is saying, hey, don't do it if it's illegal or hateful. It's a bit more severe down here. Ooh, and this next one is a pretty big deal too. So they're pretty much saying you cannot take screenshots of their books or whatever and then post the whole thing online. So for example, I actually do have a Street Fighter art collection book behind me, but even though I've purchased it, I'm not allowed to take pictures of every single page and then post it online for everyone to view. And it's not just art books, it's not just books, it can be anything Capcom owns that you purchase. You can't just make it available for free online for everyone else to have, because of course they won't make as many sales if you do that, and I think they have a right to profit off their own products. Don't misunderstand, if you enjoy sailing the high seas, that's your business. I personally do buy everything that I want to read or look at or watch because I enjoy supporting it. But you can do whatever you want to do. I'm not judging, I'm just reading what it says here, and this refers to videos also. So if you're viewing a comic book, you can't show every single page of the comic book. However, Capcom does state that unboxing videos and things of that nature are okay. So if you're gonna unbox something, just don't show all of it. That way some people still want to buy it. And I'm glad they added that part because I do actually want to do a lot more unboxing videos in the future, especially fighting game related unboxing videos. Alright, we're almost done here. So reservation. To summarize, this one is saying that if you violate any of this stuff, Capcom reserves the right to take down your video or anything you post of their content that violates any of these rules. Okay, and then the effect of video policy. So this one is saying that even if you follow all of this, it does not mean that Capcom endorses you or is giving you permission or a license, any of that stuff. So if anybody else comes after you for violation, you can't say, hey, well, Capcom said it was okay. They're like, no, we didn't give you license. We just told you what's not okay. So follow what's not okay. And this last one is pretty much just telling you if you want more information, follow this link, yada, 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 get all the knowledge that you want to know. Alright, but why did I read this when I don't upload Capcom content in general? I typically post NetherRealm stuff because I think other fighting game companies might follow suit. Because after reading all of this, nothing is out of the ordinary. A lot of this stuff sounds like what is kind of happening with a bunch of companies already, but Capcom's just laying their foot down. So if you're a content creator like me and you want to make footage for Capcom games, now you know what they do and don't approve of. However, one thing I do find funny about the whole no Rule 34 thing is Blizzard tried the exact same thing for Overwatch, and I think we all know how that turned out. It was pretty much a call to war, and as a result, there is more Rule 34 for Overwatch than a majority of video games that came out recently. So if you ask me, when you make a video game, don't tell people what not to do when it comes to the art, because then they're just going to want to do it more and more and more. But at any rate, that's about it for the video, everyone. So once again, an experimental kind of video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like down below and let me know your thoughts in the comments. And finally, make sure to finish that combo by suplexing that subscribe button. That way you never miss a future video. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.